Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. I've been doing a bit of work off camera, so I want to update you guys on what I've been doing. I've been working on the wiring harness a little bit. So I've got both of the doors ran. As you can see, they're all wired up. Everything is tucked back behind here, hidden there. It needs to go up in here, but I need to get more like straps to hold it in. And everything is ran all back here, all into the trunk, which I will show you. Everything's fed back here and hooked up to the tail lights, so that's good to go for now. I've got the Mega Squirt in here, but I haven't hooked it up yet. I don't think I found the connectors yet. I don't even know if I have them, so I've got to do some research on how to wire it up, what all I need. Because it's supposed to be plug and play, but I don't know if I have the plug and play bits. So we'll work on that later. But what else we have to do is back working on the engine. So as you can tell, I was gonna say sanded, but I wire wheeled this valve cover, took it off, took all the hardware off, because as you know before, I'll put a picture of it. The paint was already kind of flaking off. It was dirty, it was gross. So I decided to just go ahead and clean it up, and I didn't know whether I was gonna paint it or powder coat it or what, but what I'm gonna do is polish it. I have no idea how it's gonna come out. Obviously I've polished wheels before, as you can tell. And I feel like I'm fairly decent at polishing, and this shouldn't be too difficult. I mean, it's pretty straight and smooth everywhere. Just around here will be a little difficult, and down in here and stuff, but we're gonna go ahead and give that a try. So I've got these little small area sanding kits. I got 400, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, and then some polishing compound. So we're gonna work on that. And then I've also ordered from CA Tuning, California Tuning. I don't know what they actually call it, CA Tuning, but I got a full engine hardware kit. It's 316 pieces of hardware. Literally every single nut, bolt, washer, screw you could think of for this engine I got. So that's kind of why I took this off, because I was already replacing some of the nuts on the valve cover, and I was like, well, if I'm already doing this and I'm putting some sexy new hardware on, I might as well get this thing polished. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get this thing polished up first. I'm gonna work on that literally like right now once I'm done talking. And then I'm gonna start putting all the hardware on, and then I'm gonna go through and replace all the hardware. Cause like you can see I'm missing one here. I'm not even sure like if most of this hardware that's on here is even the correct hardware. It's just been stuff that's been working that I've found in like this box, that box, that box. So now I know I have the correct stuff. It's all nice, it's new. Like here's an example of the valve cover bolts, or nuts I mean. They're all super nice, super high quality. They're gonna be corrosion resistant. So that's what we're gonna be working on. And I don't know, probably other things. I got the new alternator in, so we're gonna work on that as well. I cleaned up my throttle body. You can tell this thing looks, well, still a little grungy there, but looks way better than it did before. So yeah, this video is not gonna end until I get a massive amount of work done, because I am desperate to drive this thing, and I'm sure you guys are desperate to see it run too. So let's shut up and get to work. So as it turns out, the metal is very pitted, as I'm sure you can probably tell. I would have to really sand a lot to get that out of there. All right, we're just gonna paint it, which sucks. It's not what I wanted to do. But But I think I kind of tore it up a little too much when I was wire wheeling, taking the paint off. So you can see there's like some scratches and pitting and stuff. I was hoping just doing the sanding method would get it. I mean, I might try it with like a little more coarse sandpaper, which I don't know if I even have, but I don't know. I think it's gonna be more work than I was intending on it being, seeing the quote unquote finished product. I mean, it would definitely be cool, but I'm not sure. Maybe I'll just paint it and polish this top layer up. That would be pretty cool. 'Cause it looks like it's in pretty decent shape. So, all right, I'm gonna see what I have for paint because I really don't want to buy more paint. So let's see if we have anything that might look cool. I kind of still want to do like a bright silver or something like that. So let's see what we got. All right, I found a few different ones. I think this is the paint that I used on these exhaust manifolds, which I think looks pretty good, so I might go with that. I don't have a ton of it. I've got some primer too. I also got a couple, like, not that I need anything to prevent from rust, and then there's this like for the wheels, and then some clear coat as well. So I don't know, I guess we'll rough this area up a bit that I polished and get it taped off and see what it comes out like. I don't really care, it's a valve cover. Okay, I got some tape. I'm gonna tape off the top of here. I think I'm gonna stick like little rolls of tape in here because obviously I don't really want that to get painted so that the bolts can actually go through. And then I'm gonna tape the whole bottom up. It's pretty windy out, but we're just gonna give this a try and see what happens. I can always sand it down and redo it, so. Well, I'm definitely painting myself a lot. Probably good enough for a first coat. Well, of course the wind picks up right as I start doing it, so it's not ideal, but I brought it in the shed. I have the doors open and I have that window open over there, so I've got some good ventilation, so it's not the best conditions to do this, but it seems to be that way every time I paint, so I don't know, whatever. Who cares? Do you care? I don't care. Honestly, it's already looking 1,000 times better just with the primer on it. All right, let's go for a third heavier coat. Damn. It's looking all right. I mean, you can definitely tell the imperfections from me not sanding or cleaning it enough or drying it enough or what have you, but whatever. Should be all right. All right. I'm going to leave that for about 30-45 minutes and come back and we'll choose a paint color and hit it. All right, I'm done with all the base coats. It's looking pretty solid, man. Looking a lot better than it did before. So I've got some clear coat that I'm going to hit it, probably just with a couple layers, because I've got to sand the top and polish that as well, but so far so good. All right, boys, we have the next day. Valve cover is all nice and cured. It came out really well. There's a few imperfections like here and down here and stuff like that. But again, I'm not too concerned about it. So I'm gonna grab my orbital sander and we're gonna sand down this top portion, get it brushed, and then go up and grit and see if we can get it nice and polished. All right, here goes nothing. Okay. I definitely took a little bit of paint off. See right there. But, oh yeah, and right there too. But it's not awful. Yeah, let's take it into the shed now, and I'm gonna hit it with the finer grit sandpaper and see if I can polish it up, make it nice and shiny. I think that'd be pretty cool. Okay, I got a little ahead of myself and just went to town on it without remembering to record anything, but I'm not sure how well you can tell in the dark shed, but here's where we're at right now. There's still some scratches down in here. I think a lot of that is just because I went from 60 on the orbital and then or 80, whatever it was, and then I had to jump up to like 400, I think is the next lowest that I had. So it probably would have been a lot better if I jumped up by like 50 or 80 to 100 each one instead of several hundred. But I'm gonna go ahead and polish it and see what it looks like. Again, I'm not looking for perfection. I'm just looking for a lot better, and we've already achieved that. I think it does look really good the way it is, kind of like already brushed and still a little scratchy, but I'm gonna hit it with some polish and see what it looks like. I also was able to get rid of those scuff marks by just using this 2000 grit sanding block in some soapy water. And it got rid of like 90% of those scuff marks that were on the paint, so that's awesome. Anyways, I'm gonna hit it with the polish and let's see what it looks like. Okay, I'm done. You can definitely tell there's some imperfections. Even hitting it with the 2000, I definitely think I took off a little bit of the clear coat, but at this point, I think I can, if I want, which I don't know if I do, I might just like tape over the BMW section that I just polished and just hit the whole thing with another layer of base coat in clear. But I think it's good for now. I don't think I care enough to go for full perfection. I'm really happy with the result. I don't know how well you guys can tell, but it's definitely scratched, but it's also pretty well polished as well. It's nice and shiny, so I'm very happy. I'm gonna toss it on the engine now. You guys really aren't gonna be able to see in the shed because it's so dark. But I will see you all tomorrow where we're gonna get that all bolted on and torqued on and keep chipping away. Okay, we're back working on the Lexus. I've been talking to my friend about Lexuses. We're back working on the BMW today. As you can tell by the brightness and the sun, there's not much daylight left. I maybe only have like an hour or so to work. But we're gonna continue what we started yesterday. I'm gonna button up putting the valve cover back on and just start slowly chipping away at replacing some of that new hardware. So let's get to work. So we left off, I painted the valve cover and got these fins nice and polished. There's no hardware on it yet. This one back here, for some reason the stud actually came out, so I have to figure out how to get the nut off. I tried torching it and just spinning it off. It's not really working, so I'm gonna work on getting that off first, because obviously I need that stud in here. We're gonna go around, put all the nuts on, torque them down, and then just slowly work our way around the engine. Until I figure out that situation, here's at least the other one's on, and man, it does look good with this fresh new hardware. I know it's hard to tell with the lighting in here, but it does look super clean. Okay, I'm gonna set you guys up now, and we're gonna work on the front of the engine, thankfully, so you guys will actually be able to see some stuff. I think I'm gonna take apart all the stuff on the timing cover, and I'll probably also replace the bolts on the water pump while we're doing it. Rather unfortunately, as I was moving the engine and getting this all cleared up, I realized I don't know where I put this stud, which kind of sucks because apparently it's out of stock most places. I can get it from Ireland Engineering. It's only like $2.25, and then it's $30 for shipping. Can't find anything on eBay, so I'm sure it's around here somewhere. I just have to find it. I hope I didn't actually throw it away, but okay. All right, I am just about out of daylight. I'm done for the day. It's actually getting really cold now. But let me update you on what I've done. So hopefully you guys can see all this, but I got these 3 bolts on the thermostat, here on the housing, all done. Ow! Just lost my virginity to the camera stand. That nut's in, and then I got, if you can see there, and there on the timing belt tensioner, these 3 on the water pump, and then all down here on the bottom of this case. And I actually went, I said I was gonna do it and I didn't show you guys. So I actually went in, I told you guys I wasn't gonna film it, but I actually went and torqued all that down because I have to put the cover over it. So it wouldn't really make much sense to put the cover on, just take it back off to torque it. So all of those bolts and everything that I showed you are torqued down. I didn't torque down the valve cover yet because I'm still missing that 1-threaded stud. So I'll get that. We'll get the valve cover torqued down. I'm a little confused on the timing chain cover. There's one bolt hole that I told you in the last video. I went to the hardware store and got the bolt for it. I don't exactly see where it goes. I don't know if it attaches to the timing chain tensioner or what. It looks like it goes through there, but I don't know if the hole is big enough. And then also, I don't know. I'm just confused on it. So I got to figure it out. I don't know if I'm just missing a piece or what, but I got to look into it. So before we put that timing chain cover on, I need to figure that out. So we still have some work to do. Tomorrow I'll probably work on the exhaust manifold and intake manifold, make sure I have all that, and then we'll get all that put on. So we're making good progress. I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, it's day 3 or 4 or something like that of working on this engine in this video. Today I'm going to be replacing all of the oil pan bolts and maybe a couple of the other ones around there. I did get this bolt figured out and ordered. It is like a weird bolt that like threads into it and then has a sleeve, and then the bottom timing chain cover fits over it and then a nut goes on top of it. I found a used one on eBay for $8. Otherwise it was gonna be like almost $30 for a new one from FCP Euro. So that'll be here in a few days. We'll get that installed when it gets here and then finish up the timing chain cover. But for today, we're just gonna work on basically the rest of the engine. So let's get to it. So the first thing I wanna do is stay organized. So I'm gonna be tossing all these back in their respective bags for right now, including the old hardware, just because I want it to all stay together. Just as I fucking throw it on, freaking throw it on the ground. Okay, so now I'm gonna flip this engine upside down. Everything should be tight enough at least to where I can hopefully do this without dying. It's always so scary doing this. Oh, gasket fell off, that's fine. All right, we're good. I'm gonna go ahead and take these off just because I don't want them to fall off and get dirty or torn or anything like that. So let's stick them over here with the other gaskets. Okay, that took way longer than I expected it to. As you can tell, I'm, again, about out of daylight. I can't even see where the sun is right now, but we've got quite pretty sunset over there. I'm gonna go ahead, since you guys can't really see anything in the shed anymore, I'm gonna go ahead and clean it up and get all these bolts torqued, and then I will show you guys the finished result tomorrow. Boys, it's been a few days. I'm back. We're working on the car. I've actually been working on it a decent amount off camera, mostly just because I've had like an hour or two after work. Weather's not been great. It hasn't been the brightest. I've been working in the dark a lot, but I've made some progress. So here's where we're at. I've got this alternator bracket all set up. I have found the bolt that I needed for here. I ordered it on eBay. It should be arriving today, so we could probably get that done, get the whole timing chain cover done. Showed you guys, this is all painted and polished. This is all put on. I've got the intake manifold on, but I was working over here, starting torque, 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 torque. This one right here, I think, stripped. I was torquing it, just about to hit where the torque wrench would click, and then it got loose, which really sucks. So I'm gonna have to take all of this off, redo everything that I just did. Which we're not doing today because I've got to get one of the new studs and I don't know, I guess tap and die it or do something to try and figure out how to fix it. I don't know. I do also have the one on the oil pan that I have to do, so I have a couple that I have to fix, but everything on the oil pan is done. I also got a new drain plug and washer. I got a few parts from FCP Euro. Most of them I've already installed, but there's like this bracket that goes right here. And I've just been working on all this, all the hardware still. I still have a bunch left to do, but I just kind of wanted to update you guys on what I've done so far. And I also, as you probably have seen in the background, I built a workbench. It's super nice. It's basically 36 inches tall, which is great because this black table, as you can see, way lower. It was probably only 28 inches off the ground, and it was really hurting my back working on things. So this is super nice. It's at waist level. So you can see I can work on stuff super easily without having to bend over. I got it all supported back here. I mean, this thing's solid. I've sat on it completely already and it was fine. I did get a pallet from work, so I'm gonna be making shelves. I'm gonna put some shelves here and here, and then I'm gonna work on getting my toolbox that's in the house and bring it out here and probably put it right here so that this can actually be like a full-blown workshop at this point instead of just kind of like a storage shed that I'm also working on. I got myself a little vise, which is nice, so I can actually hold stuff and, you know, either polish it or sand it or grind it. Comes with an anvil. I kind of went a little crazy at Harbor Freight and got some new stuff, so I should be good for a little while. I almost forgot, one other thing that I was working on is, I don't remember if I ever said this in a video or not, but this oil return tube down here was super grody. And I saw it in a video. I guess this is supposed to be like, this spring is supposed to actually work and kind of push it up into here, which you can see it's nice and in there now, but mine was stuck. It wasn't going up or down. So I was able to kind of grab it and get it removed. I got it all cleaned up, got the gunk removed, ordered a new washer and an O-ring, got it put in. So hopefully I didn't have to order a new tube. Not that it's very expensive, but if I can save a few dollars, I will. So I was able to reuse it and just put a new washer. I didn't actually need a new spring, but I ordered one just in case I wasn't able to clean this old one up, but got a spare if I need it. So that's all good to go. We're making progress a little bit at a time. So when those other parts get here, we'll get that. We'll get it changed out right here. Oh yeah, I did actually, I got a spring as well for in there, which sort of works. It's not ideal. It's supposed to go like from here all the way back here. It's supposed to go from here like all the way back here. I don't remember if I told you guys, but I was actually cutting it to try and shorten the OEM spring because it was way too tight and too long to try and get on there. I literally couldn't do it. So I was trying to use an angle grinder to cut off a little bit of it, and my angle grinder caught the spring and sent it in orbit. I think it probably hit the ISS, so I don't know where it went. So I don't have the OEM one anymore. So I just grabbed one that I think would work from Lowe's, and it works good enough. It's basically fully compressed as it is. You can tell this belt is very tight right now, which is fine for now. And then hopefully as the belt loosens up a little bit, I can adjust it more, but it can't get any tighter right now, which kind of sucks. Not that I necessarily need it to, but if I need it to be, well, I guess tighter is not the word. Spring would be tighter, the belt would be looser. If I needed that for whatever reason, I can't. So I'd have to either remove the spring or change it out for the OEM one. Okay, I went ahead and wasn't sure how difficult it was gonna be, so I just went ahead and tried it. But I got the new valve cover stud put in. It's definitely shorter than, not all of them, but some of them you can see are longer. Like that one's shorter, that one's kind of medium, that one's shorter. I don't really know why. I don't know if there's a reason. I don't know if they're just not threaded in all the way, but new one went in without a hitch. Put the nut on, torqued it, got them all torqued to spec. So valve cover is good now as well. Also, let me get your guys' opinion. What do you think of this oil cap? This is the one that came on. I don't know if this is original. The one that I see on like Rock Auto and stuff is just like a circular black one that goes here. It's a lot smaller. I kind of like that it's square, but I also kind of think that like a nice billet polished one would look really good, especially with how this is and all the new hardware and everything like that. So drop down in the comments if you've made it this far in the video, what you guys think I should do for an oil filler cap. So what I want to work on right now is cleaning up this throttle body. In here, I don't know how well you guys can tell, it's pretty gunked up down here. I've already cleaned this thing up a little bit, so you can see in here it's pretty gunked up. So I got some new wire brushes from Harbor Freight, and I'm gonna go ahead and soak this with some degreaser and see if I can clean that up. The reason I want to do that is this, just doing that feels a little bit sticky. I could tell it's kind of catching on this grease that's caked up in here. And with it being a drift car, I really don't want anything that's going to be affecting like the throttle. And who knows, I may have to end up replacing this throttle body. I don't know, it's not in the best of shape, but I'm going to try to make it work. Okay, that's way better. Much cleaner. This thing now, not grabbing on anything now. Whap, 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 whap. Alrighty. Very cool. All right, that's gonna wrap it up for now. I'm still waiting on that part for the timing cover to arrive. It should be arriving today. So hopefully either later today or probably tomorrow, because I've got to get ready for dinner plans soon. We're gonna go ahead and get that installed, get it installed, get the alternator hooked up to it, put the V-band on for the alternator, get the timing cover all put on, and then that I think might wrap it up for this video. All right, we have a couple days later. The bolt for the alternator bracket finally came in. I got it cleaned up because it was super disgusting. It looked like this one, just all nasty and grody and shit. Oh, this is leaking, that's great. This is what it looks like now. Super nice and shiny and clean. I reused the old washer down in there. Not old, it's the old new one. So this should be good. The timing cover is gonna sit right on here. I've got all the new hardware to go on it, so let's go ahead and get that installed. And I should hopefully have everything to put the belt and everything on as well. So I'm gonna look up how to do that, and that's gonna call it. Good news, I do indeed have both of the pulleys that I need. You can see I got this one on already. I cleaned both of them up. They're in fairly decent shape. There's a little bit of surface rust, but they were pretty grody just like everything else was. So I just degreased them. I cleaned up the mating surface on the back of this one because it was a little rusty. This one's pretty good, so I'm just gonna toss it on like that. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put the hardware on, and we're gonna put this belt on, and we're gonna call that job done, which is huge. Okay, let's get the belt on. That's nice and tight. Dude, we fucking did it. Look at that. That is a beautiful engine. It's obviously not done, but you know. Okay, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. Thank you all so much for watching if you stayed to the end of this. I have no idea how long it's gonna be. I haven't started editing yet. I wouldn't be surprised if it's pushing an hour-long video. So if you stayed and watched the whole thing, I really do appreciate it. I hope you guys are enjoying the process. I hope you're enjoying everything I'm doing. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.